part of Plunderfest. It was a pirate-themed music festival, and there was a game of Capture the Flag that is played between the camps every year. So you're supposed to make your own flag and fly it above your camp, and then throughout the weekend, other camps will try to steal your flag, bring it back to their camp, and then whoever, has the most flags that aren't theirs at the end of the weekend wins. So we built an 18 feet tall geodome and put a flagpole at the top. And there were people. No, but someone did. Someone came in at 7 in the morning and just shimmied their way up there like they were born to climb. Yeah.
Bro, what happened is you challenged them.
Yeah.
And they were like
fair. All of our preparation couldn't beat fast feet and good climbing skill check.
That person was like, you know what? Challenge accepted.
Welcome to GhostEater and Friends.
Oh my gosh, we got a good one here today, folks. We have our very own Timothy Andrews. He is going to explain
put the damn S on my name.
Timothy, oh my god, I did. Timothy Andrew. Scratch that.
Okay.
Timothy Andrew. It's just, it feels like it should have an S. I'm sorry.
I have all the first names. I stole them. I'm like a cryptid. I will steal your first name. Just watch out.
Well, Timothy Andrew is our VJ, our resident VJ. He is the guy that's going to make all of our LED walls shine bright. Is that right? You're going to, what do they call, throw pixels? You're going to throw pixels for us?
Yeah. I'm used to throwing pixels with projectors, but I have deployed on an LED wall before.
Yeah. A less cool one, if I say so myself.
Yeah, it was very fun. Don't get me wrong, but what we have is really high end. I'm really fucking excited.
Dude,
can I swear?
Oh yeah, you can swear. We're on YouTube, so we just try not to swear within the first 30 seconds, or like a minute.
Yeah.
And 30 seconds. I think we're past that. That's fine. Whatever. We're good. You can swear. You can say fuck. You can say shit. You can say poop if you want.
I don't want to say.
So, to bring it back, we've had a long day, folks. We got our first LED wall arrived today.
Yes.
It's like 20 feet from us right now. It's not all the way put together. We didn't.
Fucking beautiful, though.
It is beautiful. We didn't quite.
So sleek and sexy.
It is. We were gonna try and set it up behind me, but look, we ran out of time. All right, we're filming this podcast 5 hours late, I think.
I mean, we might be immortal beings, but we still have a bedtime most nights.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We got responsibilities, and it happens. But so we're a little tired, and I'm a little slow, but we're gonna work past it. And I just want to first, kind of get to know you. You've been friends with Sam, our lead tech, for what, 10, 13 years now? Since 2010.
So let me talk about the night and the first 48 hours of me knowing Sam. So it was it was 12 years ago, just a week out from today.
Oh wow.
Because it was August 11th was the second Luna party that my production company in DS Frequency up in Duluth, we threw a all-night party in July with one stage, and we had a number of lovely people from the Twin Cities come up from us. I think they said they were going to go see Reed Speed at First Avenue, and then they heard about this weird rave on a beach.
Yes.
And so they drove 3 hours at a whim and partied with us on the South Shore of Lake Superior. And shortly afterwards, we had been hearing about this twin company of ours down in the cities called Global Takedown.
Yeah.
And just like people in the cities were hearing how wild our parties were getting, we were hearing about how wild Global Takedown was getting. And so we reached out and made contact. We asked if they wanted to collaborate on our next Luna party, which was under the full moon. That's what the name Luna meant, which meant that we had a 28-day schedule in between each Luna party that we threw in 2011. So the first one was in July. We probably started talking to Sam and company like a week later. And then, at the end of that 28 days, it's Friday night. And I'm staying up waiting for the Global Takedown boys to show up, and they're super fucking late. Like, they said they would be there at like 10 p.m., and it's like 1:30, and they roll up.
Yeah.
And I was fucking cranky. I was like, I have to be up at 7 a.m. to bring an 18-foot truck down to the beach to start hauling out gear to get ready for a party that starts at 7 p.m., and you're fucking 4 hours late, but Sam rolls out, says hi. He's the most charming of the group for sure, and he's like, "Well, hey, I brought my laser. Do you want me to bring it in your basement? We could set it up and play around with it." And it was a lot of fun. The laser was always a lot of fun. And I remember Sam lighting my weed.
Oh, with the laser. Yeah,
I was like, yeah, all right. This is pretty fucking dope. And the party was a massive success. I think we had 600-700 people, 3 stages.
Oh, yeah.
It was a little fucking wild, but no, injuries. We had security. The cops would come up to our gate and check in with us, but despite it being an unlicensed event, they knew that we were taking security and looking out for people really carefully, and they were basically told us if you weren't doing this, there would be a bunch of stupid house parties where people were getting way more fucked up and had no one looking out for them. So we're actually pretty cool with this. However, we had 600-700 people come out.
Yeah.
And so afterwards, the cops in Superior, they were like, no, you have to come back with a permit. We can't look away again. We can't give you the wink and the nod. Yeah, you have to come back legit. We tried to get the permit. That didn't work out.
Nope.
No, it did not. And so we scrambled and we came up with a plan B for the September Luna party, which is in many ways the most infamous thing that Sam and I have done together.
Oh yeah, that one. I think there was even a GhostEater set at one of those.
There was.
Yeah.
Sam did a little set back in the day. And that party, we booked 5 stages, 14 hours of music, ran from 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. the next morning. We ended up finding a campground out on the reservation, on the Mille Lacs reservation. And it was totally fine with the reservation government, with the reservation police, right?
Yeah.
And we were having a great time. Everything seemed to go very smoothly up until about 1:30 p.m. when some cops that have been kind of hanging out started pressuring us to turn off the music. And they were county cops. They didn't have any sovereign rights or legal ability to come onto the property and make arrests. So I was a bit of a fucking shitheel to them. This cop, it's 2:15 in the morning, and he's shouting at me, but from 10 feet away on the other side of the ditch at the end of the property. And he's saying I will arrest you for inciting a riot and disturbing the peace, because we were getting noise complaints from a couple miles away.
So wait, you said 1 p.m. You mean 1 a.m. they started?
Sorry. Yeah. 1 a.m. Post bar close. As soon as it was bar close, that's when they were like, we're going to fuck you up.
Yeah. All right, it's busting heads time.
Yeah. But again, they couldn't come on the property, so they had to figure out how to threaten us. So eventually, he was just threatening like me and like the promoters with arrest, and we were just like, we'll get a lawyer. We're on sovereign land. We'll figure it out. But then he comes back and he says he's gonna set up automatic checkpoints up and down the road and search everyone who leaves for the next couple hours. And now, obviously, Sam and I, we were very sober. You know, we would never engage in such high-level shenanigans without a clear head. However,
throwing parties. No, not you guys.
No. But we were concerned about our guests. We wanted to look out for their safety of continued success in life, and we really didn't want automatic checkpoints up and down the road, whether that was an empty threat or not. It was a threat to be taken seriously.
Yeah, it's still something to consider.
I think we ended up doing a coin flip because Sam had a number for a lawyer. That we could have called, but it was gonna start out at least like $500 just to wake him up. And
bro, it's like $300 a phone call minimum, and after like 9 or something, it's like.
It would have been an expensive phone call. And it was a free party. This is also important for the story. The Luna parties were all free. We didn't charge anything.
Right.
We took donations at the door. At the third one, we sold T-shirts at the gate. But I think like we were down several $1,000s throwing it.
Classic.
And, whatever. Like fucking worth it. But in the end, what happened was the cop made the threat. We huddled, and then we like all went off to shut down our respective stages. Well, so DS Frequency was in charge of the main stage. And there's this deep house DJ who is from Duluth, Nola Wick. She's absolutely fantastic. She still throws down killer sets.
Shout out Nola Wick.
Shout out Nola Wick. I just saw her at Great Beyond last weekend. She was amazing. She throws Freak of the Week, which is, I think, the third Friday of every month at Beast Barbecue. If you like house music, if you like deep house, like driving, like four on the floor, get your body moving house. I would check out Freak of the Week. It's a really good time. The sound and environment and visuals that my friend Farrah Freya does, all immaculate. Highly recommended.
In Minneapolis, or is that like online? Or
that's in Minneapolis.
Okay,
Beast Barbecue in northeast Minneapolis. So anyway, getting back to the Luna Party story. So I drew the short straw. I had to go shut down the music on the main stage. And so I asked Nola to take her headphones off, told her what was going on. She gave me the mic, turned the music down, and I made the announcement. And by the end of it, I was just sobbing. I was like a wreck. I was very upset, very sad to have to be doing it, especially for an artist who I respected and loved so much and really got down to her sets. It was supposed to be a better moment than it was. But anyway, so I start walking off, and Nola gets back on the mic, and she's like, Tim is really sad. Can everyone just give him a hug? And all of a sudden, I was in the middle of 100-person group hug, which was cute, until 30 seconds later, and somebody over the Global Takedown stage, an attendee who was local and maybe not accustomed to the culture, they got upset that the music was ending, and they threw their beer at the Global Takedown DJ decks.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And a friend of ours, whose name rhymes with whale, we'll say, he's a bit of a hothead, and he ran over and just threw the first fucking punch. And that really lit shit up. And all of a sudden, you have these hick versus raver fights breaking out across this campground. We had volunteer security, and they really
beefcake back
yeah
there?
that's where it was going.
Yeah.
That's where they first used the name Beefcake Squad. They wrote it on their high-vis vests with a mustache underneath. And their leader, Pat Wagner, rest in peace, Pat. We miss him so much.
He would have been such a good guest.
Yeah, Pat would have had story after story after story.
Oh yeah, he was gonna be our security.
Yeah, I mean, he was the best, and that's why Beefcake became what it is today.
Absolutely.
If you go,
shout out Beefcake, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Beefcake. Shout out all of the original homies that are still on Beefcake. Shout out all of the newer members who have now been there a long time. They were talking about 12 years later from this.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, we've been around for a while. We have a while to go.
We're old fucks now.
But Pat, he saw like 3 of his guys facing off with like 8 drunk hicks. Okay. And he had spent the day driving the fence post for our temporary like orange netting fence into the ground, and he had brought his sledgehammer. So he ran back to his truck and he grabbed the sledgehammer, and Pat was at the time about 280 pounds and like nearly pure fucking muscle. Like the dude was built like a shit house. Like he was just
like a literal house.
Like a literal house. He used to like bench his friends. Like he was a strong dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Pat grabs the sledgehammer and he's running back with the sledgehammer raised above his head, roaring. And the hicks, they like hear him and they turn and they see him and they just take fucking off running. Like they're just like,
I would too, bro.
They're like, nope, not today. Like I don't want to be caught today.
Like, oh man, don't fuck with the raver kids, I guess.
And so that's where Pat earned the name the Sledgehammer, and later, even got a tattoo, Sledgehammer Wags.
Yeah.
That was the first time that Beefcake Squad had that name. However, they went on to do security for the Clyde Ironworks in Duluth, independently of our production company. Then they started getting booked for more and more music festivals. A couple years later, their base of operations moved from Duluth down to Minneapolis, and now you can catch them at the larger shows at the Armory, at the Fillmore. Yeah. I mean, they're incredibly competent, caring security. Like, they look out. They don't just want to avoid legal trouble. They want to make sure you're safe. So if you see Beefcake out at an event, I always believe that they're looking out for the best interests of the general attendee. And I really appreciate that. And it means a lot looking back and seeing that they're still like this extremely active part of the scene. Yeah.
Yeah, and so kind of bringing it back now, we were at the Luna party, and that kind of started off a relationship with DS Frequency and Global Takedown, if I remember correctly. Now, I know I was around, but I wasn't doing any sets or anything. Sam was still spinning under GhostEater name, but I wasn't doing anything. I hadn't really decided if I wanted to yet.
Yeah.
But, so, I mean, I've heard some good stories, though. You guys go way back.
Yeah, we go way back. We did a Halloween show, Halloween Day, together. That was up in Duluth. We booked.
Wasn't there one at Grandma's too?
Yeah, that was at Grandma's.
That was at Grandma's.
We had Dirty Talk.
Play,
and we had Nostalgia, Andrew Hill. One third of Turney and Sound. Yeah, as shout out Turney and Sound, I just got my new bomber jacket this week. I'm kind of kicking myself that I did bring it because it looks super fucking cool.
You missed an opportunity to look sexy on YouTube.
It's all right.
Next time. We'll get you next time.
I look sexy enough. I'm not going to stress about
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. You got the swag. You got the natural swag. You don't need no ornaments.
Oh, thanks, baby.
Yeah. So Now, back then you weren't really a VJ though, right? Like you were just kind of like a production guy. You brought stuff places.
Yeah, no, I was the guy who tried to coordinate everyone, and especially like the day of logistics, figuring out who was going to arrive when, what order things were going to be set up in.
Oh, that's an art right there.
Yeah, making sure that we had all of the necessary equipment, any random odds and end dongles, adapters, the things that you tend to forget about until the day of.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of like made it my job to anticipate.
Like a crescent wrench?
Yeah.
We needed a crescent wrench really bad earlier.
Yeah, we could have deployed the whole wall and maybe even had it up in the podcast tonight if we would have thought to have a crescent wrench. Whatever.
It was not
you
too
learn
late.
everything something new every day.
It's true.
Fine.
Shout out, by the way, to LED Nation. I'm gonna try to get sponsored by those guys.
Yeah.
They're the ones who shipped us the wall. It did get a little fucked up in shipping. We got one ding. Dinged my case. Wasn't happy, but it didn't actually hurt anything. So
It'll buff out.
it wounded my pride.
We could add some foam.
Yeah.
Sand it down, paint it.
Yeah. It's not a big deal. But yeah. We gotta test that out. Now, how exactly did you get into being a VJ? Now, is it more of a recent thing or?
Yeah, well, relatively recent. It's been about a year and a half. And owe it all to Alina Orbidan, actually, because I was a roommate in North Minneapolis. And she's like a lighting goddess. She's
actually our lighting person.
She runs lights at First Avenue at the Fine Line. She's done touring lighting gigs.
Lends us our trailer, by the way. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Shout out.
She did lighting last weekend on the Communion stage at the Great Beyond. She's
How did that
fucking
look,
incredible.
by the way?
It looked fan-fucking-tastic. Every time Alina finds a new way to deploy her lights, like this same or similar equipment, in like a fascinating new configuration that I never fail to like appreciate.
Yeah, honestly, so I'm a little bit of a prude. I think we all know that. And I kind of gave her shit, admittedly, when she first got those, like, little movers with the 5 individual beams, you know?
Yeah, well,
at first I was like,
you and Sam can be a bit of a snob at times.
yeah, lasers, lights, and LEDs, man. That's our.
But those movers, she uses them to incredible effect.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, yeah.
I didn't see it. Like, I kind of gave her shit because I didn't see him turned on, and then I did see him in action, and I was like, oh, okay. That's all right. I take it back.
All right, so getting back to VJing. So Alina's a lighting professional. She also like is a bartender, and she double booked herself. She had a day job, and then she had a little side gig running projector visuals for a live stream band. Douglas County was the name of one band, and I can't remember the name of any other band.
Douglas County.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
which is actually like the county where we threw the Luna parties,
No
like the one
shit.
at the beach. Yeah.
Are they from that county?
I honestly don't know if it's the Minnesota Douglas County or the Wisconsin one. It's a common county name.
Oh, okay.
guess
Yeah, so I'm sure they're from
Douglas.
some Douglas County.
Sam and I used to have some friends that would call each other Douglas as an
Douglas.
insult. Like you're being like such a Douglas right now.
Douglas.
Oh, excuse me.
We can cut that out. It's okay. I might not, though.
So I did the gig, but I only had like 48 hours to prepare. Alina just comes up to me and she's like, hey, do you remember when I was training Savannah how to do VJing the other day? And I was like, yeah, I mean, like I was around, I was in the same room. And she's like, so Savannah canceled. She can't cover my gig. Will you be able to like do this gig? And I was like, what do I have to do? And she's like, well, you have to create like original visual scenes that are hopefully responsive to the music, and then like project them with my projector in this tiny basement for a live stream. And I was like, okay, how much time do I have? Well, it's in 2 days. all right, like, I don't know. So I just
Fuck it, we ball.
yeah, so I just sat down with it. And the program Magic Music Visuals, I highly recommend to anyone who wants to get into VJing, but with the disclaimer that there's a fair amount of math and logic involved, and you have to like really think about what you're doing. However, in many ways, it's the most accessible VJ program I've seen other than Resolume for simple video mixing.
Sure. That's cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna test that shit out, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah, no, my Resolume package, I am so excited to deploy it on it. I'm definitely going to be like developing custom modules and new things. I've been these days I'm learning in Resolume Wire, which is like MMV. However, it's a little bit more complicated. You could do cooler things, but it's all like data type associations. Like you can't just like take any video input and run it through almost any equation like you can in MMV. You have to like really pay attention to like what data signal you're using and what you're converting it into in order to like hit the effects that you achieve. So there's a lot deeper knowledge base to like absorb to be proficient in it.
Is this program for like live VJing, like when you actually like throw pixels, or is this more of something that you create visuals like and render them out?
Live. So
okay.
Every VJ has a different style.
Sure.
What I've been trying to do since that first show, is I built my stuff so that the way that the music is being played, the overall volume or the tone or specific frequency ranges and how high those are getting, those will all act as inputs and equations which either create the base visuals or modify them.
Oh, so cool.
Like I did visuals for a drum and bass show last fall, and shit.
Was it at the Eagle?
No, this one was at 5-6 Brewing.
Oh.
And I'm
okay.
kicking myself right now that I can't remember the artists that I was VJ for because they were incredible drum and bass artists. Sorry, it's been a long day. Been up since 6. Had 2 beers. Oh well.
Set up an LED wall.
Yeah, set up an LED wall. I've also, this last week has been very, very busy for me. But anyway, so I had a scene that I made for that event where I was like, I want to have the full moon in my visuals. I want a scene with the full moon. So I started with 28 images of the moon in different phases. And so I combined those into a folder. And then I had the cycling through those, fading one to the other. And then I made the moon rotate so that it was like rising and falling through the sky. Behind that, I had nebulas that
you were mixing like video live, and you were like, I want to make a moon rise.
Yeah, so the moon was like the only static it was gonna do the same thing no matter what music was playing.
Yeah.
But then I made these nebula clouds in the background that would contract and move across the sky based on different frequency ranges that was coming that I kind of tuned for drum and bass. I was using a lot of drum and bass in the studio, listening to it, playing the artist tracks, trying to figure out what's really hitting. Then I had a black mountain range basically separating the sky from the water down below. And the mountain range was made out of these undulating, it was a waveform, but I was having the waveforms crash into each other.
Oh,
so it was creating cool mountains that would shift and disappear and reappear. And then underneath that, I had more waveforms that I kept really thin. Sorry.
Yeah, you got it.
More waveforms that I kept really thin, and I had them moving down the screen, and I had them like blue and green and silver so that they looked like waves, and so that when the like music was really hitting, like it was a high energy moment, the waves looked like they were like crashing up against the shore of the like mountain, versus when the like music was softer, they looked more like a calm lake on a like beautiful night.
Yeah, like on Lake Superior. Nice, calm Lake
That
Superior.
was hanging out on Lake Superior, thinking about like the hills on the other side. Maybe some experiences I've had there watching that.
Well, that is how you first got introduced to what is modern GhostEater too, up in Superior. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was the first time. I remember that was like the first time you saw this.
That was wild. So, GhostEater and I and Alex
Alex is up there.
Our face tech, our face artist.
Yes.
Alex and GhostEater and I, we all went up to Duluth for this like psytrance party with the homies.
Yeah.
Which was a blast. And
shout out Swift, right?
Shout out Swift, shout out Gadget for booking GhostEater, and it was an absolute vibe.
Oh yeah.
And the only non-psytrance set the entire weekend was GhostEater. And I remember afterwards, Gadget was like, if I had known that it was a dubstep set, I wouldn't have booked him, but it was pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
Well, I kind of warned him, like, I didn't really give him a lot of time to back out. I was just like, let me just do this thing, I'm gonna do this thing. He invited people up to do it, and I was like, oh yeah, let me do my thing up there, and I did warn him. I was like, I told him there's a little bit of dubstep in it, but it's other stuff too, you know what I mean? And he kind of said the same thing to me. He's like, I really don't like dubstep, but your dubstep is okay. I like your dubstep. We could do your dubstep. And I was like, thank you, Gadget.
Gadget is a sweetheart.
Yes, he is. Shout out Gadget. We love you, Gadget.
He's never going to watch this. I love Gadget, but he's probably not going to watch this. That's fine.
It's okay. We'll tell him that we shouted him out, and then someday he'll watch it probably.
But I remember I was down at the bonfire on the beach, and I heard it started, and I grabbed my friend Colin. I was like, dude, we got to go see this right away. And we get up there, and we get in like viewing range of the mask. And Colin's like, what the fuck is that? It's like losing his shit.
Like, what are we seeing right now?
Right. Yeah.
I know. Now imagine if there was like an awesome LED wall.
There will be. I can't imagine it. I have been imagining it. Yeah.
It's been probably something we've both been imagining here for at least a week now. That's awesome though. So now one thing, I kind of want to explore other programs too, like Touch Designer. Touch Designer's big. I'm a big fan of Touch Designer.
Touch Designer and MMV and Magic Music Visuals and Resolute Wire all sit in this family of node-based visual programming generative programs, basically.
Yeah.
Which sounds like a lot of jargon, but it's a pretty accurate description of what they do. You could take a variety of inputs, you run them through a variety of modifications, you blend them together.
Filters, I think they call them.
It depends on the
nodes.
Yes. Nodes for MMV, tops or sops for Touch
that's
Designer.
What I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
I fucked with Touch Designer in like 2013, but
that was way different back then.
I was about to say it was way different, and they were still developing it.
Yeah.
And even back then though, way over my head.
way back in those DS Frequency Global Takedown days, we had a tech for DS Frequency, Ryan Moeller. He was just a fucking genius, and I remember he used to play with Quartz Composer. And we had a couple of shows where we would have webcams, and the webcams would be on people doing flow art. And then he would do, some node-based modifications where the music would change like the color or intensity or after image of the trails of the people doing, LED poi or hoop.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and for one of those grandma parties, I think it was the December one.
I remember that one.
Yep, we had that set up, and Freaky Friday was the name of that one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think there was a storm on the way up or something.
Yeah, we had that set up, and we had flow artists providing visuals the entire night, but we didn't have an LED wall or a projection screen. We actually used their closed circuit television system. Because it's a sports bar. It's a sports bar. So we took advantage of it. We just had our logos and artist names and these cool live visuals that were being fed by the flow artists.
Which is cool. Yeah. I mean, there's TVs everywhere, right? That's the point of the sports bar, right? To go watch sports.
Yeah, so then we just took over the sports bar TVs, and I think that was a really good use of the venue. As good as we were going to get, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
We could have still had a LED wall or a projection screen, but
Yeah, I always did dream about, because it was such a big space, and I always dreamed about, man, we could really fit some cool shit in here.
Yeah.
Same with that Ironworks, man.
Clyde Ironworks?
Yeah, that venue's so fucking cool. Oh, I love that venue.
Full disclosure, I didn't stick around for all of Dia's Frequency. I left around 2013.
Yeah.
Was probably my last show that I officially worked with him. I think I came up and helped out for a couple afterwards, but I was involved in the planning.
Sure.
I had moved to Minneapolis by that point.
Yeah, that's right.
There was a bit of a falling out that I don't want to get into. We don't need to talk about
No, I mean, Sam had plenty of falling outs in that 2013 year too.
Yeah. Sometimes I think that Sam and I are the only remaining friends from that period, at least from our Purdue production companies.
You're the only one. No, I still talk to Reed. Reed is a sweetie. Reed is a.
Yeah, he is.
Reed is a sweetie. That's the only one, though. Everyone else I can't, we can't really talk to.
Yeah, we should bring Reed out for a GhostEater gig sometime.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I love that guy.
Does he still make chiptune music on Game Boys?
I don't know. I saw him recently, actually. He was at one of the shows at the Poorhouse. Maybe it was a communion. I think he was at a communion.
Oh shit, Reed was at a communion?
Yeah, he was at a communion. Yeah, we chatted for a long time.
Oh, nice.
And he's doing good. He's the same Reed as ever.
I'd love to see him. I'd love to catch up with Reed. Reed was always a hoot.
Reed was always a hoot. He was the one that I originally met, actually, in Global Takedown. We went to college together, me and Reed.
Yeah, you and Reed and Sam.
Yeah.
It in college.
Oh, dude. Yeah, well, I tried to do it. Yeah, me and Sam both tried to get some credits. I had a day job too. Me and Sam both had a day job. We both worked at Best Buy. They won't let me be on the phone anymore. I don't know why.
something about it, not the best customer service voice. At least for Midwest grandmas, I would fucking love it. If they're if I called up AT&T and someone GhostEater answered the phone, I'd be like, yeah, this is a vibe.
They'd be like, listen, it's just not a right fit. Yeah. And I'd be like, all right, fair enough. You know what? We gave it a good run. Trying to fix people's computers. That's what we were trying to do. But yeah, I mean, Sam still works there. I got fired, but they just closed that section down. We got laid off. I think that's technically what that is.
I mean, as long as you didn't get captured by their cryptid hunting team or whatever, I think we're good.
I think Sean Farrell runs that now, so yeah. I'm in the clear.
He's in charge of robotic development and cryptid hunting. Yeah.
Yeah. He works in the basement of the campus. He has a lair down there.
Sean's creepy basement.
Yeah.
Oh, Captain, my captain. Can we talk about Sean? Can we talk about Plunderfest and just how much fun that was back in the day? What do you remember about Plunderfest?
Nothing really, to be honest. Because I didn't make it.
You didn't?
I didn't make it.
I did 2 years. It different. It wasn't like a full EDM fest.
Yeah, well, Sean really likes, he's a wide variety of music, that guy. He likes, like, all kinds of punk rock and stuff, too. I think he's friends with, like, Dropkick Murphy. So what's that, babes?
I said I played an 8-hour set, and there were people dancing on a U-Haul.
Oh my god, yeah. Sean Farrell played an 8-hour set. That's crazy.
That's wild. That's
At Plunder? God, man. Shout out Sean Farrell. We love you, Sean Farrell.
Yeah, I went with just like, my partner at the time and so a couple friends in I think 2013 or no, 2014 to Plunderfest. No, 2013. Sorry, 2013. And then the next year, I had thrown some house parties in St. Paul and kind of built a following. But our house parties in St. Paul were too popular. Let's circle back to that. Because there's some fun stories about those house parties. But for the second Plunderfest, we wanted to do a theme camp. Like, we wanted to have, like, bring something special out. So me and my roommate, Rob Hennon, and Kim Waldak, and
I love Kim.
ex who shall not be named, and and Sean Tyson was a huge help. We made a geodome. Like, I got it in my head that we could build a geodome that you could climb on and like use as like a freestanding structure to support lighting and other shit.
Okay. It sounds like a grand idea.
And we did, like, we got it. So we built it out of electrical conduit, 3/4-inch electrical conduit. It weighed like around 1,000 pounds.
I was
all
about
told.
to say, dude, that shit is not designed to be lightweight.
No, it was as lightweight as we could get it without it just like not being structurally sound.
Right.
If you wanted to climb on it, plenty of people make geodomes out of PVC pipe, and those are great. But they're not jungle gyms, and we wanted a jungle gym.
And that would be like $500,000 worth of aluminum.
So yeah, like the dome, it was 27 feet wide, 18
Whoa,
feet tall.
what?
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
It was 27 feet wide and 18 feet tall at the center.
That's like dangerous if you fell from 18 feet, isn't it? I mean, you get pretty hurt. Hey, I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah. So part of Plunderfest, it was a pirate-themed music festival, and there was a game of Capture the Flag that is played between the camps every year. So you're supposed to make your own flag and fly it above your camp, and then throughout the weekend, other camps will try to steal your flag, bring it back to their camp, and then whoever, has the most flags that aren't theirs at the end of the weekend wins. So we built an 18 feet tall geodome and put a flagpole at the top. And there were people. No, but someone did. Someone came in at 7 in the morning and just shimmied their way up there like they were born to climb. Yeah.
Bro, what happened is you challenged them.
Yeah.
And they were like
fair. All of our preparation couldn't beat fast feet and good climbing skill check.
That person was like, you know what? Challenge accepted.
Right. I think our flag was a skull and crossboners because we were the it was FAP camp.
Immaculate.
It was FAP camp.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah. Well, the skull and crossboners came from FAP, but FAP was an acronym for our house parties in St. Paul that I threw.
Oh, yeah. Why don't we get into that?
Yeah. So when I moved up down to the cities, I didn't have a protection company, but I eventually ended up meeting some people that like to throw parties at their house, and I moved in with them, Rob Hennon and Jake Sachs, and
love those guys, by the way.
We love them. Yeah. Just saw Rob 2 weekends ago. We played board games for it was like a board game about raising sheep and building a dike to avoid a flood.
Hell yeah.
It's fun.
I mean, hey, gotta protect those sheep.
Yeah, so we So we threw some parties, starting in like February of 2014, going to like May of 2014. But it was like every week or every other week we would throw a party in our house.
Yeah, I was at a couple of those. So was Sam.
Yeah, gets fucking exhausting.
Yeah.
Especially when you're dealing like with midwinter raver plague, but like a new strain comes every week. So you're like, oh, good, I'm feeling better before this party. And then like you're just sick again for 3 days. Like,
Yeah, the parties were a great
they were a public
environment.
health risk, but they were fun. Yeah.
I was about to
These
say,
were
a great
pre-COVID
environment
days. We
for-
didn't know how serious germs were.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is, like I was gonna say, it was a great time for a virus back
Yeah.
then.
Luckily, Ebola never cut off, or
Yeah.
that would have fucked our shit up.
So, what exactly did FAP stand for? I'm afraid to ask.
Just fucking awesome parties. Fucking awesome partiers, yeah.
Okay.
I had, before DS Frequency in Duluth, our party group name, before we decided it got official, my party group name up there was the Tarp House, or the Totally Awesome Raging Partiers House.
Oh, is that?
'Cause
You
I
know,
just like
I
dumb
never thought
acronym.
about that. Yeah, you're an acronym guy. You're also a math guy.
Yeah.
You can say really big numbers.
And I like puns, and I like, I don't know.
Like LEDs. LEDs are cool.
So bringing that up, that's actually, I booked Jack Denny of Turnian Sound in that period. I also got Monica Farr, formerly of Dirty Talk, to play in my basement. But I remember I was booking Jack Denny, and this was like pre-official rhythm, but after he was done with Gabber and like non-dubstep genres. And he was really pushing this dark, deep, like heavy dubstep sound in his newest songs that he had been putting out. And so I asked him, I was like, Jack, like what genre do I say you're playing at this step? Because it's just under his name, I think it was Johnny Foreplay.
Yeah, it was like Johnny Foreplay back then.
Yeah. And he said Demon Step, which I just thought was the most Jack answer I had ever heard.
Demon Step. I can see it though. I can see it.
But also, like, isn't that a great name for like pre-rhythm? Like what rhythm became? Yeah,
It was
Demon
definitely
Step.
more like, I would call it like adult dubstep almost,
Yeah.
a little less abrasive, more dark and angry and brooding,
Yeah. And for bass heads, and
Yeah.
for like serious fucking bass heads
Yeah.
who wanted to like pull apart those like deep bass melodies. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good times.
So those were a fucking blast. I really pushed themed parties with those house parties.
Yeah.
So we had like Jake's sexy party.
Wasn't
where
there a pirate party? I feel like
there
there
was
was a...
my birthday party was a space pirate party.
Oh,
Yeah.
a space pirate party.
So-
Nice.
So I got to dress up as Han Solo and have Princess Leia and a sexy Darth Vader and a sexy R2D2, but in general, like we made a photo booth for that where there was a we took like a brown like bed sheet and we painted lines on it to look like the deck of a ship, and then we hired a spray paint artist to make like spray paint galaxy panels that we put up on the wall behind it.
Yes.
And then we had like little pirate costume things that people could put on, and some like ray guns and stuff, and so they could be space pirates even if they came in their normal street clothes. Yeah,
You really think of everything.
I was all about that shit. The
I
other one I
remember,
was
there was a Halloween party where you had like a photo booth.
yeah. So that was Halloween of 2015, and
Is that similar? Like, it was a theme, right?
yeah. That was at a venue that was like a t-shirt like rapid printing in Minneapolis on the like edge of town with St. Paul on
Is that what that place was? They made T-shirts there.
Yeah, it was like a t-shirt shop before
Oh, wow.
Lucas moved in and turned it into a like terrifying rave venue, but it was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did a photo booth there. Oh my god, I came up with the dumbest name. It was Dr. Feelgood's murder surgery photo booth. So the idea was that you could come in your Halloween outfit and get like scary pictures taken, and so we like turned a table like into like a bloody gurney. And I went out and I bought a bunch of like tools, and I bought like a flimsy hacksaw, and I filed the blade down and I turned it inside, so that people could like fake use it on their friends, but with the blunt end, like it was safe, right?
Yeah. You weren't giving them weapons.
and we like had all the walls were covered in sheets of blood. I got a photographer there. It's still attached to my Facebook. It's fun. Maybe we could throw it up in the interview link. I don't know.
Yeah, we should. I will. We can take a couple pictures.
We'll throw some links in. Yeah.
And we'll give them to B, and we can put them up.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
But B's like, yes, guys, I could do this very basic, simple task. Yeah. So for a while, I did deco, and the photo booths, the theme parties, they were all part of it. I was mostly an assistant, Hannah Howard, and later Danny Frame, both of Rebel Minx Entertainment, which was this amazing deco company in the Twin Cities, originally started by Hannah and Michelle Muse. Who we love, yeah.
Yeah, I love Michelle Muse.
Yeah.
I think we were gonna invite her on too.
Michelle, it's gonna be too late for this, but she has a party happening tomorrow night at I think like the Rev rooftop or the Union rooftop, some rooftop in downtown. But Michelle's doing a regular party series again. Also, it's kind of more upbeat house, but again, like a longtime friend, promoter I love. Definitely want to give a shout out to Michelle and what she's doing these days with Whoop Bass is the name of it. Whoop Bass.
Whoop Bass.
Yeah, one word.
I like it. No, I like it. Yeah, we got to get her on here sometime too.
Yeah,
honestly.
So I was a deco assistant for Hannah Howard. Hannah just made these incredible fabric metal, or these fabric sculptures that were supported by like fishing line and like barb or like thick wire in the inside, giving it its shape.
Oh yeah.
So I remember she would have all these like stars and geometric constructions. She had this massive red tree with like a 15-foot tall trunk and like 5 branches that their most were like 25 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah, that was so much fun.
Was it like, I'm confused. Is that like something you hang up?
Yeah, we would hang it from the top, and then we would pull the branches out in different directions, and so the shape of the room would really change how that felt.
Yeah.
I think I could pull up a picture of it deployed in my basement in St. Paul. It was in a tiny room, so it felt like you were inside of a root system because it was just like filling the space, and the branches were going like all across the wall and the ceiling. And then Hannah also had like toadstool mushroom deco that we used it was growing out of the tree trunk, so there was like a mushroom.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, that was for the Double Rainbow Rager Party, which I think was one of my more ambitious party ideas.
Sorry, what? That was a catchy name. What was it?
The Double Rainbow Rager Party.
Yeah, okay.
So that was basically the idea was that every set was a back-to-back set, 2 DJs playing, and then every room was themed a different color of the rainbow, and also had a theme matching springtime because it was the end of March. So the yellow room, when you walked into the living room, it was the sun room. So we had one of Hannah's deco suns, and I used like yellow, like old school yellow colored light bulbs in there to make it extra yellow.
Yeah.
Then you'd walk into the kitchen, and that was the green room, and that was like the jungle room. And so like
the literal green colored room.
Yeah, it was the green colored room. And we had like fabric vines crawling across the wall with flowers coming out of them. If you continued walking straight towards the back door, you would go through what was normally Rob's room, but that night it was the orange room, and so it was the sunset room. And so Hannah had a red sun and an orange sun, and we hung them so that if you were sitting on the couch, it gave like a double sunset effect, like two suns setting in front of each other, kind of like late at night sunset. So that was fun. If you went down the stairs, that was the purple room or the twilight room. And so what I did is I had like a silky purple fabric that I had against the walls of the staircase.
Hell yeah, that's my favorite there.
And then I took like multicolored Christmas lights that like blinked, and then I strung them back and forth, and I made like a web pattern going all the way across the ceiling of the staircase. And then we took a tight mesh fabric and we stretched that across. So it was supposed to be like the night sky, like it was supposed to be like twilight, where you're starting to see the sky, or the stars, but the sky is still purple.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
One of my favorite times of the day, right there.
Yeah, when you then got, and I have pictures. We could throw pictures up.
Yeah. Well, we can give them to V afterwards.
Yeah. So then when you went down into the basement, if you turned to your left, you saw the red room with the tree and the mushroom growing out of it. We, in that room, instead of couches, we had yoga mats on the floor. So you could just like get really low to the ground and kind of cuddle puddle vibes, right?
Hell yeah. We need more of these parties.
I'm done. Past that, it's lighting LED walls, small projects from now on. Yeah.
I know, fair enough. Admittedly, I didn't really help with this.
These were a lot. And then in the blue room, it was like our beach room. So we had like on the ceiling, we had like little puffy clouds made of cotton or whatever. On the wall, we had two types of fabric. One was a light blue, one was a darker blue. On the darker blue, we put like sailboats and like sea monsters, and then like birds and planes, and like we had like a yellow light bulb in there, yellow light bulbs on the ceiling in there, but then we like obscured them, so they made like a very soft yellow light. And then underneath,
you guys really went all out on this, man.
Yeah, and then underneath futons in there, we had like a strong yellow light, so shooting out into the concrete, so it's supposed to look like sand. And then the main room, the dance floor, we had like some sort of Skittles cocktail, but it wasn't just Skittles vodka. It was Joe Doc. He really like always went all out on those. For the bar. And then over the dance floor, I made like a double rainbow using the structure of the like, what am I trying to say, like the pipes in my basement. I like wrapped tissue paper over them and like LED lights, so that the red lights were glowing through the red tissue paper, and it was alternating through the colors of the rainbow. And then we just had like, standard color changing lighting going for the DJs. And that was our rainbow room. So it was the double rainbow. So the whole thing was the double rainbow rager, because it was supposed to be a rainbow on multiple levels. Yeah.
That's real meta. I like it.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, we actually are at an hour.
Wow. Holy shit.
I know, right? That's what everyone's been saying.
Yeah.
I don't even think we got into everything that we wanted to get into.
No,
but we do gotta manage.
Let's cut it. I just real quick want to give a shout out to.
What are you gonna shout out?
A shout out to the Great Beyond, Steve Centrific, and the whole crew that put it on last weekend. Yeah. I had the privilege of attending and working on the care camp team, and it was just
with our good friend Rainbow, right?
With our friend Rainbow. They're amazing.
Shout out to Rainbow. We always love Rainbow.
And Andre. You got to get Andre on the
show.
Yeah, got
to get Andre.
Yeah.
We've got so many people scheduled. We'll get them on.
But yeah, like working alongside the Intellifun crew, seeing the professionalism, the love that they have, like the sheer grit and determination to not quit. Because, like, it was a great festival. it's
Yeah.
still like a 3-day, 1,000+ person festival. Like it was some working an event and attending an event are two different things. The sort of chaos you see, and a well-run event for an attendee just feels like everything's flowing and natural. But for like worker and organizer, somebody who's trying to keep that train on the tracks, it's beyond difficult. And I highly recommend to everyone listening to check out a communion party on Sundays at the Poorhouse for the rest of the summer. You'll meet the nicest people. You'll hear the best DJs. And it's just a really welcoming crowd. And I really like it. If you like techno, great. If you don't, you'll probably find something that you really like on that dance floor.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. There's more than just techno. There's all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah, Steve books a lot of different stuff, even if his
Well,
art and his background.
25 years those guys have been at it. If anyone has some good taste, it's those guys. I gotta get them on there too. Well, Tim, oh my god, I had so much fun. I really, we'll have to get you back on here.
Yeah.
We
This
definitely.
this was a total blast. I was nervous, but you're one of my oldest friends.
Yeah, man, exactly. You get used to it, It's just YouTube and B.
Thank you for
And me.
listening.
Hi, B. Shout out B.
Shout out Editor B. Okay. Alright, well, speaking of Editor B, let's not make our lives any worse. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. Thanks again.
Thank you for listening to GhostEater and Friends.